Okay. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello.
Good
Hello.
evening, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, this is after some time. Okay. We are meeting after some time. No, last week we couldn't do. Am I right? I'm double checking with you. Right. Okay. Now, I remember, what did I do last time? Can you remember? What did I do with y'all last time? I think I continued with some methods. We discussed the flipped method and then what else? A technique I discussed.
Technique.
What is it, Puta?
Grouping techniques.
Grouping technique we discussed. Apart from that, did we discuss jigsaw method? Did we discuss jigsaw method? Yes or no? You can't remember?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
All right. So I remember that I wanted you to, because your assignment is on flipped
yes, ma'am.
method. Yeah, thank you very much. So your assignment is on flipped method. So today I'm going to actually give you the assignment. Okay. And you will have normally how much time is given for you to complete the assignment? 2 weeks? How long do they give you? What's the
Can you give 3 weeks?
I will give 3 weeks, no problems. Okay, I will give you 3 weeks. But it's about flipped method. It's something very simple. It's going to be, okay? I will send you the assignment by tomorrow. So before that, I wanted to actually come prepared with some flipped method um, lesson. Am I right? Am I right? Did I ask you to come prepared with a flipped method lesson?
Yes, madam.
Are you ready? Even if it is not perfect, it's okay. Then we can discuss it further. So it's an assistance. I'm giving you assistance. I'm giving you support. Then you can do your best when it comes to the resume assignment. That is why I really want you to actually do it and bring. Anybody is ready for that? Anybody is ready? It doesn't have to be perfect. Then you can look at that. Then I will give you feedback. Then you will get a lot of insights for your assignment, no? Nobody is prepared?
Ma'am, I had prepared.
It's okay. Don't worry, Situmini. It's Situmini, right?
Situmini, madam.
Yeah, Situmi. Don't worry about it. It may be wrong, but I can correct you. So can you share? You're Situmi, right? Can I
Yes.
make you a kind of a co-host? Then you will be, I can't make you the host. So I have to make you a co-host. But that option is not there, Anupute.
Madam, I can share the document for you.
All right. You put the document to me, then I will show.
Okay, ma'am.
You can talk. Very good. That kind of attitude is needed. The others also try to do something. You don't have to be perfect, right? Then we can actually discuss it further. Then you get a lot of ideas about your assignment, no? That is why this kind of activities are helpful. You put it into the chat? Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Let me open it. Give me a second. I have to open it. Is it grade 6 mathematics? No, no.
Yes, madam.
Grade 6 mathematics you send, right? Okay. So I'll be sharing it. Give me a second. That's really good. That should be the way. I really like it. Right. Can you see the document I'm sharing? Can you see the document I'm sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
So this
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
one you sent me, dear? See to me?
Yes, madam.
All right. So now you can explain. Then I will actually give you feedback. Okay? Can you explain? Others listen because I'm going to give you feedback and this is something related to your assignment. So you can do your assignment better. So Situmi, don't worry, don't hesitate. You are learning. I understand that. You're great that you have done that. So can you just try to explain to us?
Yes, my selected lesson was identify what an angle and its type. This is a new lesson for grade 6 students. So as the homework, I decided to give the paragraph which are included in their textbook and give some statements. Read this paragraph and fill in the blanks.
Okay. Very good. This is not this statements are not given in the book, right?
No, madam. Only the paragraph.
Very good. You prepared them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. And I want to give you feedback here, Puta. Out of the classroom, what is it? Out of classroom activities for lot. Homework කියලා කියන්න එපා. Because typical homework කොහමද? අර traditional පන්ති ඔක්කොම උගන්වලා දෙන ඒවානේ. Am I right?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, අපි කියන out of classroom activities for lot. A lot. අපි නැත්නම් ඒවට කියනවා pre activities කියලා. මොනවද අපිට කියන්නේ නැත්නම්? Pre activities. Pre before කියන එකයි. Okay? Pre. Homework කියන එක අයින් කරන්න. Very good. So this is a very good one. So they are grade 6, so they can read this and they can actually complete the statements by reading it. Very good.
The next activity, I asked them to draw any angle and name its vertex and arms. The figure is in their textbook, so they can copy that figure and name it.
This one,
Yes, ma'am.
then it's already they have any triangle, no?
Any angle.
Any angle. They can draw any angle. Okay. I agree with you, but instructions you have to give very clearly. Draw any angle of your choice, of as you like, and then name its vertex, then name its arm. කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. හරිනා නේද?
Okay.
Are you okay? Right. If not, now this is they have to do this on their own now.
Yes.
What you can do is you can actually give them a angle, cell angles, and ask them to name the vertex and බැරිද කරන්න?
Yes, we can, madam.
Yeah, because then you can give several. Am I right?
Yes.
And then they're doing it on their own because of that before doing the lesson. Because of that, I think that is a better one. කියලා මට අපි ඊගාට අමාරු කරන්න නෙවෙයි බලන්නේ. As it is, they have to actually understand it, not going beyond it. තේරුණා නේද? දැන් අපි if I ask them to you draw any angle කියලා ඒක නිකන් අර ඔක්කොම ඉගෙන ගත්තට පස්සේ වෙන එකක්. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Every one of you? Every one of you? Agree? අනේ කතා කරන්න දෙයියනේ මට පිස්සු දෙයි නැත්තම්. Every one of you agree there?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Emma, it's not very decent, Honda, then it's very disrespectful if you don't respond. Right. Now this is Situmi in classroom. Api kino out of class, in class activities. අපි මේ වචන පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේ. මොනවද අපි ඒවට කියන්නේ? හැමෝටම දැනගන්න මම මේ කියන්නේ. මොනවද අපි කියන්නේ Situmi?
In
In
class
class activities for අරක lot. මේක මොකද්ද?
higher order thinking.
Hot. Very good. Higher order thinking. Hot for hot. එතකොට අපි ගොඩක් අර presentations අන්න ඒ වගේව තමයි දෙන්නේ. බලමු මොනවද කියලා. Through an individual activity, teacher gives opportunity to identify the right angle. එතකොට හුඟක් වෙලාවට අපි individual activities කරන්නේ නැහැ. Flip method එකේ classroom එකේ. Am I right? In the flip method classroom, we actually do group activities in the class. Purpose එක ඔයා දන්නවනේ. Purpose එක development of the 4 C's, higher order activities, cooperative learning. එතකොට ඒ නිසා individual එකක් කරන්න එක එච්චර හරියන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මෙතන බලමු activity 2. Draw a circle on a piece of paper using a circular shape. Cut along the circle that has been drawn and separate out the curricular lamina. Lamina.
Yes, madam.
Fold the curricular lamina into 2. Without opening out the folded lamina, fold it again into 2. Open out the lamina and that was folded as above, and with a ruler mark the fold lines using a dark color. Through discussion explains about the right angle, the way of draw it. The final figure illustrates how the lamina has been divided into 4 equal parts by the 2 straight line segments. Here 4 angles of equal size has been created as depicted in the figure. Love Mac, try it. The symbol in red in the figure is used to denote a right angle. Asked to name the places here the students can see the right angles in the classroom. That is very good. You can put them into groups here, activity 4, right? And get them to actually as a group, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 people. They have to actually list the classroom. They have to name the places where the students can see the right angles. Okay, identify different types of angles in terms of the right angle. So, can you explain this further?
I mean here, grade 6 students first we learn about teach about the right angle. Through that right angle, we are going to explain other types of angles.
So this is actually, can they actually do this at home? What do you think? No.
Yes, this activity is given in their textbook.
Can you get them to do it at home and bring?
Yes, ma'am, they can.
Because the pictures and everything is there. Na?
Yes, ma'am.
If you really wanted that, you can actually video record or audio record, a better video record, and do it, demonstrate it, and send it to them, and get them to actually read this also, and then do something like that and bring. You can easily do that. Is you're getting them to work on their own. They are now, their mindset is that they are willing to listen to teachers' recordings and then do something as a preparation work. This is something very easily that they can do at home. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, එතකොට අපි flip එකේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට pre-activities වලට lower order ඒවට අපි videos ඒවා, if you wanted, actually you could have found a video on this on internet also. If not, the teacher can do a small demonstration, record it and send, and get them to do it at home. Okay? And make use of the class time for group activities. So, this is the second one is a group activity. It's okay. Right? And activity 5 gives figures of different types of angles and asks to divide them according to the given categories. Okay, that is fine. They can do it in class as a group activity. Through discussion, teach the following types of angles. Very good. That is, once they are done with that, that you can actually lead a discussion. This is also very good because finally, through discussion, you get them to actually talk about this, right? You get them to talk about this. So because of that, this is finally good because it's like giving a summary of it. And you're not going to give the summary, you're going to lead a discussion with your students. And then they know exactly what they have done is correct. That I agree with you all. Situmi, this is a really good one. Little changes I suggested, I think that you will agree with me. Am I right?
Yes, madam. I agree with
Yeah. And make sure that you use videos and audios and demonstrations and get them to actually look at it and do something. And listen to something and do something. ඒකම තමයි කරන්නේ. තේරුණා නේද? Then they actually are then how to make a paper flower කිව්වම they look at you, they look at the demonstration and do it. There's nothing much නේ. Critical thinking අරම ඒවා නෑනේ. And all that. Okay? I think this is very good. Situmi, keep it up. Good work. Okay? Right. I have to I can give you a clappy another. Where's that option? We don't have it here, ne? Right. Very good work. Then is there anybody else? Now, because of her work, that we could actually look at some examples. So anybody else?
Miss, I have sent you. Can you please check the inbox?
Okay, let me see. This is whose work is this? This is Situmi. This is Afra, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Afra, let me open it. Is it being shared?
Yes, madam.
All right. Now you can explain it to the class. Then I give you the home feedback.
Actually, miss, I don't have. I'm not teaching now. This is just an imaginary lesson of mine.
It's okay. All are not teachers when they do their bachelor's and all. Right? You can always, you have been a student anyway. Right. Okay. Then.
Ma'am, this lesson plan is for grade 3, environmental studies, and the topic is animals that help us. So they have to go through the lesson and mark true and false. This is the lower order thinking activity. That is a T for true or F for false. They have to mark it.
Wait. Now, activity 1 I'm looking at. Sending the students a video clip about where animals live. Am I
Yes,
right?
yes,
that
ma'am.
is a good idea. They will love to watch it. Then
they have to look at the video, first watch it, and just mark true or false according to what they remember. They have to just mark it.
Right, okay. Do you think that they are just grade 3 class, okay? Do you think that they can read and understand these statements? Every one of them can?
Like the parents should help. That's all.
That is, don't do that. Don't do that. So, can you make it a bit simple? That is a very good idea, sending them a video and get them to watch it. So rather than getting these big works, a way that you can actually simplify.
They can draw or name 2 animals which help them. That is
even without watching the video, they can do, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So Now this is grade 3, no? Because of that, I think if you remember right, I told you flipped method is not with small classes, smaller grades, small children. You have to actually work with a bit mature learners when you are using the flipped method. So I think if this is a grade 5 class, this is good, Kiala. You understand, because sometimes in grade 3, students might be struggling with reading and understanding. Am I right?
Yes, miss.
So I'm thinking all of you can now actually think in terms of that. So though I have been telling this, you have not taken that. It's not gone into your head. So you have to know flipped method is not for very small children. Maybe grade 5 upwards, like you can, because they can read and understand. They can listen and understand. Grade 3 people, they are actually struggling with listening and reading. So I think you can make it a grade 5 class, Kela. Then this is okay. Are you okay?
Okay.
Right. Then go to activity 2. What is it?
That is also a lower order thinking activity. What do different animals give us? You have to match the following.
So is it based on any listening or reading or video or anything?
Yeah, both the activities are based on the video clip.
Right. Clear instructions should be given. So this is very good. This is very simple. Okay. This is very simple. That here also you can make it like that. Right? Farm animals and pet animals together are called domestic animals. You don't have to actually give it like that. You can actually put farm animals pictures into one, pet animals pictures into another one, and domestic, both some farm animals and some pet animals together, and you can ask them to match these words. Am I right?
Yes.
Did you all get that? I'm telling you how to simplify. This is a grade 3 class now. Now farm animals, few farm animals in one bundle, few pet animals in one bundle, and then the mixture of farm and pet animals. Then you can actually give the 3 terms: farm animals, pet animals, and domestic animals, and ask them to actually match. Can they do that easily?
Yes.
Rather than giving a true or false statement for grade 3 students like them. Okay? Then we get silk thread from sheep. Shoes and bags are made from the skin of dead animals. So that, of course, that you have to actually give pictures or words. One side you have silk thread. Other side you have sheep. Shoes and bags. Other side be dead animals. Elephants one side. Plow fields. Like that you can give. They can match or whatever. Something like that would do. This is otherwise read and understanding is difficult. But the second activity is really good. They can easily do that. That is good. Everyone is listening, right? Then we'll go to higher order thinking. In-class activities for hot Kiala. Activity 1, answering questions. Who? What is this? Where are the questions?
It's like the teacher has to explain the lesson. That is a WHO questions the teacher will ask randomly from the students.
Yeah, teacher doesn't have to explain the lesson here, no. That explain part, teacher karanne. Explain කරන එක ළමයා ගෙදරදී they do it. Now they know what it is. Okay? So now you can actually give them a small activity like this. I will actually, now based on what they have learned at home, am I right?
Yes.
After? So you can actually, you just can't say answering questions. You can actually have sentence, question strips, right? Based on what they have done. So in the class, you actually prepare 10 question strips. and put them into groups, maybe 2 groups, 2 large groups. And you actually conduct a game, right? Based on what you all have done. I have a quiz, a quick quiz. So group A can pick one question and give it to group B. If the group B answers, they get 5 marks. Like that, when we were schooling, we have done that. Something like that is okay. You get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to actually put all the questions that you are going to set. And you have to put the video also. Otherwise, in the assignment, you don't get marks, Puta. If it is a video, I want to see the video. You have to give me the link, right? And if it is asking questions like this, question is a good one. So it's a game-like thing. They are into groups and then they themselves can prepare questions if it is a higher grade. If it is a grade 3, that you give them questions, very simple ones. They have to pick one and ask from the other group, and that group doesn't answer. It goes like that. You can actually conduct a kind of a quiz session. That is yes. I tell you yes. Very good. Activity 2, dividing children into heterogeneous groups, giving them group projects on different topics, farm animals, wild animals, and animals that help us. What is this? This is separate, no? Now I ask you this. Do you talk about wild animals in the video?
Yes, ma'am. All 3 animals that helps us.
In the video. But
Yes.
you are not asking anything about the wild animals in the lower order activities. Neda? Afra?
Yes, ma'am. I think I
ඒක
mentioned.
වැරදි. ඒක වැරදි එතකොට. තේරුණානේ? ඒක තුනම තියෙනවා නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ that question should be set on that also, right? And then what is the project? Now this is just giving them a group project on different topics. That is, you have not given anything about the topic. But when you are doing the assignment, make sure that you have to give clear instructions and everything about the project that you are going to give them. Right? Got it?
Yes, ma'am. It's like this is like a handwork thing. They have to. It should be informed early, and they have to bring things according to make a farm animals. In a sense, the children who got that topic, they have to make a farm, building up things, and the other children wild animals, and other children different topic animals that help us.
Yeah, but you have to actually give clear instructions. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Right. That is important. In that video, maybe how they help, it may be there.
Yes, ma'am. As I remember this, I taught a long time back the children. So that memory.
Yeah, okay. I think it's actually needs some, that is good, that because that you have done that I could tell them. Now don't take the flip method for grade 3, make it 5 upward, okay? Because they have to work on their own, no? Must learning a promoter. So the very, it's actually not, it's not suitable. This flip method, no?
Pardon me, I missed the class in the middle last time. So I thought both you have asked to make that side.
Right. I think that you can share your ideas with your friends. We'll stop the discussion on science that now. I think by now that you have got an idea about the flipped method. I want all the 8 participants to tell me whether you will be able to do your assignment now. You have a proper understanding. I want to ask every one of you. Today, Channa is not there, no? Right. Afra, yes. Fatima, will you be able to do your assignment on flipped method?
No.
Sorry? Fatima?
No.
Madam? Yeah? Fatima, will you be able to do your assignment if I send you on a flip method? Salma, Afra, then Sanji, Priyanka. Will you be all able to do that? Please tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, others?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
I am a new student here.
This is iPhone කියලා යන්නේ නේද? What's your name?
My name is Rinaza.
Yes, Rinalga. So, will you be able to get all the recordings from the institute?
Yeah, ma'am. Till I didn't get the audio clips, but I watched the previous lessons from YouTube.
Our recording is there, no?
Recordings, yeah.
So, you have a clear understanding about the flip method now?
Yeah, ma'am. I got an idea about this after watching these examples. So I'll try and
Yeah. But
okay.
try, do your level best because it's an assignment, okay?
Sure, ma'am.
So don't take it for granted. Now listen to all these audio lessons and read the materials that I have sent you, because I have sent all the materials also. Get hold of them and then take your time and select a suitable grade, select a suitable lesson. Each and every lesson is not suitable for that. Then find materials online. My goodness, there are a lot of nice materials online. Get them to they are interested in, because in flip method we use ICT also. So they will like it, and then before coming to class, that if you want to check their understanding of what they are supposed to learn, you can actually get them to send you the answers. You can develop MCQs and get them to do the MCQs and send it to you. Likewise, you can do magical things to create interest, to get interest, to create interest in your students. So understand the core of this flipped method and then try to do your assignment. Okay, I think you have access to these online classrooms now. What we have discussed, if you have missed anything, you can listen to them again, right? So listen to them over and over and double check whether you're okay. So I really want you to give another advice, because you all are now, you have started reading for your degree. Are you all listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, assignments are part and parcel of your degree. Okay. So when it comes to assignments, main thing is meeting deadlines. Okay. Main thing is meeting deadlines. එතකොට deadline එකට assignment එකක් ලැබුණාම you have to submit it on or before the deadline. Okay. Second part is, you can't just wait till the last minute. Now, you all wanted 3 weeks. I told, okay, Kiala. So you all wait till the 3rd week. Then you hardly have any time to actually do proper work. This is part of your exam. Maybe 20%, maybe 50% from your assignments. So it's a very good chance that you go for maximum marks. So how to attempt it? If I give you 3 weeks for your assignment, you have to actually develop a timeline as soon as you get your assignment, as soon as it's issued to you. You all should develop a timeline, time frame. Maybe that to select the lesson and the grade and the materials, maybe you take 1 week. Okay, because it's very important. If you don't select a proper lesson, appropriate lesson, everything will be a difficulty for you. So spending 1 week on that is okay. Okay, because then you read online textbooks and this is really good. I can develop it nicely. Just because that you see something, you can't take. So you spend the first week on that, and now you meet the deadline, right? First week, this date, I'm ready with the materials and the lesson that I'm going to use for this flipped lesson, right? After that, you're not going to change. Then you have to actually think of developing activities, lot and hot. Okay? So lot eva cut and paste. නිකන් අහලා දැනගන්න ඒවා කරලා බලන්න තියෙන්නේ. දැකලා කරන ඒවම නැවත කරන්න තියෙන. අලුතෙන් දෙයක් කරන්න දෙයක් නෑ ඒක. තනියම කරන්න පුළුවන් ලොකුවට කියවලා තේරුම් අරන් කරන දේවල් නෙමෙයි. So what are the activities that suitable activities? For higher order, in class, mostly group activities, critical thinking, creativity. What are the activities that I can give based on that? You have to now develop materials during the second week. Now, what is the third week for? Now you have the third week for the finalization. Revising, reviewing, drafting, redrafting, and then before the deadline, submitting. What you all do is you get an assignment. I have 3 weeks. You just forget about it. And just before the deadline, you actually quickly in your hurry that you do something and send. Don't get into that habit, Uta. Okay? Did you get my word?
Yeah, ma'am.
It's very important, Pute. You all don't understand how important it is to get into that habit. So I also had my time, right? When I was long time back, maybe when I was reading for my first degrees and all that, one after the other assignment and all that, but to do our best. So we have to develop our own strategies and just don't think that coming to class and then going home or then just sitting for exams. No, you have to develop your study skills with all that. And then attitude towards learning. I want to learn more on this. I want to read something. I want to do my best. I want to get maximum. That kind of attitude should be there. Okay. That advice I wanted to give. I hope that I have given you enough help with the assignment that you all getting tomorrow. And I'm giving you 3 weeks for you to submit that as well. Okay. Right there. Did I talk to you about questioning last time? Did I talk to you about questioning as a technique last time?
No, ma'am, only grouping techniques.
Yeah, grouping technique. So I will now talk about, so as there are newcomers also, I will give you the summary, but she's good. She has listened to the lessons and all that. So I'm very happy. Now, you know, this is educational technology. So educational technology means the whole process of teaching and learning, right? Whole process of teaching and learning. So there we discuss approaches to teaching. So we discussed 2 main approaches as student-centered and teacher-centered. And we looked at 15 characteristics, right? And all that. And then to talk about teacher-centered and learner-centered, we discussed behaviorism and constructivism. Okay. And then based on the approaches that we have a set of methods. Okay. The methods we discussed, highly teacher-centered methods like lecture method, demonstration we discuss, right? And then we discuss some student-centered methods like, you know, discussion, scientific method, and then, you know, we discuss this flipped method, and then the jigsaw method. And then I told you in implementing these methods in the class that we can use techniques. Under techniques, I told you grouping. Now, if you use teacher-centered, then a method can be lecture method. Then grouping cannot be a technique there, right? Grouping cannot be a technique. Individual questions and answers can be a technique in that approach. But if you use student-centered and student-centered approach, you can have discussion as a method. Then grouping can be the technique. We have discussed them. So we discussed grouping, heterogeneous and homogeneous. Now, I will talk to you about another technique. That is questioning. What is the other technique that I'm going to talk to you about today?
Questioning.
Questioning, right. Very good. Questioning as technique. Questioning as a technique. So for that, I want to actually open my PowerPoint So give me a second. Questioning as a technique. Okay. You can see my desktop. Give me a second. Sorry, yourself. Did you?
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay, give me a second, Buddha. I want to locate the place. Right. Here I am. Okay. This is right. Techniques. Questioning as a teaching technique. I think that you can see that now. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Right. So we are now in the topic questioning as a teaching technique. Okay. If you look at Indian educationist Agrawal, right? Agrawal says, you are not a teacher if you are not good in your questioning. You are not a teacher if you are not good in your questioning technique. So it's a hackneyed technique. Why do we call it hackneyed technique? Teachers actually ask a lot of questions in the class. Different type of questions, but a lot of questions are asked by the teachers in the class. So though it's an hackneyed technique, it is a very useful technique according to Agrawal. You are not a teacher if you have not mastered your ability to question your students. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Madam, can you repeat again, madam?
Right. I was talking to you about questioning technique. Am I right? Yes. So questioning as a teaching technique.
No, madam,
So,
that statement, can you read? You are not a teacher?
you're not a teacher
Huh?
if you have not mastered the art of question. You're not a teacher if you have not mastered the art of question. Agrawal. Okay, then.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then. Yeah. It speaks volumes of. It speaks volumes about how important it is for the teacher to use questioning in the classroom. Right? According to Agrawal, questioning is a hackneyed technique. Hackneyed can be overused, but still it is very important. It is very useful. Okay. So if you want to be a very good teacher, actually, you have to actually learn how to use questioning technique in a very skillful manner, because in almost every class, you have the black and teachers questioning, right? They are actually part and parcel of any teaching session. So you also have to think of mastering this ability of questioning as a technique, that how you're going to use it, Kianika. Okay. Then,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yeah,
Can you please repeat that word hackney? Spell the word.
Hackney, hackneyed, hackneyed. That of course spellings HACK, hackney, hackneyed, N-I-E-D. N-I-E-D.
Thank you.
Right. Hackneyed. Okay. Hackneyed කියලා කියන්නේ overused වගේ. You understand?
Yeah.
Hackneyed. So this is a very hackneyed, but it's very useful. So you have to master that art of questioning in the class, right? And there are actually a lot of research also done, especially Agrawal in Indian context. Okay. He actually goes to classes and see how the teachers use this questioning in a very effective manner. Whether they actually use questioning in a very effective manner. They observe classes and then do research on that. So it's that important, right? Okay. Now, you don't have to just ask questions. You have to ask questions very skillfully. That is important. So here, according to S.S. Colvin, right? According to S.S. Colvin, efficiency in teaching is measured mostly by the questions asked by the teacher. Efficiency in teaching is measured mostly by the questions asked by the teacher. If any teacher is not competent in questioning, his or her teaching will not be successful. Same thing that Agrawal told, the Colvin also confirms it. Okay. So you can see how useful it is to master the ability to use the questioning technique in the classroom very skillfully, not just for the sake of asking questions. Most of the time, according to Agrawal, the teachers ask questions, but they are actually useless because it's not skillfully asked. It's not very efficient way of using this technique, like they say. So let's see what are the uses of questioning as a technique in the class. What are the uses of questioning as a technique in the class? Right. Can one of you read one by one? I will explain. You can ask questions from the students to check their previous knowledge about the subject. Test the previous knowledge of students. So that is the first use. So what they already know about the topic that you are going to discuss today. Now, for example, it's animals, farm animals, wild animals, and pet animals. How much they know about them, because they are not empty vessels. According to constructivist approach, we don't consider students as empty vessels. They have prior knowledge, existing knowledge, previous knowledge, knowledge of the world, knowledge of the subject, knowledge of the language, like that. So you will actually ask questions to know or test their previous knowledge. That is one use of questioning. Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Second one, help elicit knowledge from students. What does it mean by help elicit knowledge from students? What does it mean by? Can one of you think or guess? Help elicit knowledge from students.
Get the idea of what we are talking about from.
Can you speak louder? You're breaking.
Get the idea what is mean by the topic. There's a coverage problem, ma'am. That's what.
All right. Get the idea means this is what? Elicit, yeah, that is they have some understanding. But they are young, no, they are learners. So they can't actually put 2 and 2 together and talk about something. They're learners, right? If I ask you a simple question like how to make a butter cake, maybe that they know how to make a butter cake, but they can't put 2 and 2 together and talk about how to make a butter cake, tell you how to make a butter cake. Instead, you can ask questions like this. What are the ingredients we need to make a butter cake? Right, they give you the answers. What are the utensils that we need to make a butter cake? They might say we need a beater, we need this, an oven and all that. Okay. So, right. What is the first step? What is the first thing that we have to do? Then after that, what you are supposed to do? Like that, you actually ask a series of probing questions to get the answer from them. They know the answer, but they can't actually put it together and give you the answer. So you break it into small pieces and get them to actually give their knowledge through the answers. That is eliciting. You got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Every one of you?
Yes.
That is it. Then we'll go to this third one. Help stimulate student interest to motivate students, right? Now, when you ask them questions, they are motivated, right? They will actually be interested in what you're going to talk to them, what you're going to teach them. So questioning helps in actually getting them to be interested and motivated in the lesson, right? If you ask the right type of questions. Now, for example, you're talking about the solar planet. So you will ask questions like, have you been to the planetarium? Right? How many are there like that? Do you have you seen something like that? You ask a lot of questions about the topic, and it will stimulate their interest and they will be motivated to learn the lesson. Okay. Then another use of questioning is keep students mentally alert. What is keeping students mentally alert means? Can you explain as you understand it? Questioning helps to keep the students mentally alert. What does it mean?
To have the focus in the topic.
Definitely, yes, because they know anytime teacher might ask questions. So I have to listen. So your questioning technique, right? They know this teacher is in the habit of asking a lot of questions, time to time. So because of that, I should not miss any. Because of that, they will be focused. So they will be mentally alert because they know the teacher is in the habit of asking questions. So they don't want to actually miss that. So they will be actually focusing and they will be on alert. Got my point?
Yeah, ma'am.
Now, if there's a teacher who never asks questions from the students know the teacher does questions, so I don't have to worry. But if there are teachers who ask a lot of questions in the then they know the teacher is in the habit of asking questions, so I have to focus. So you can keep the students mentally alert. So why not mastering that skill in your character, right? Okay. Stimulate students' curiosity. Actually speaking, it is something similar to interest and motivation. And curiosity, you want them to be curious through the questions that you ask. So what do you think about this people actually going to other planets? Have you heard of stories of people going to other planets? Now, if you have a pet dog, have you ever heard of this pet dog died at the grave of the master and all that? So I will show you a video and see how faithful the dogs are like that. You can actually create a interest and curiosity to question, right? Find out whether students understand the lesson. So teacher can ask questions to see whether the students have understood the lesson. Otherwise, actually, you don't have any understanding whether they have understood or not. So time to time, you don't have to finish the lesson and ask. Time to time, you can actually ask questions to see whether they have understood. And then from there, you can continue. Again, you can ask a set of questions on that part and then continue. Right? So to check whether the students have understood the lesson, you can ask questions. To link previous knowledge with new knowledge. That is, of course, like recalling previous knowledge, similar, okay? Revise the lesson. So revise the lesson means now you have taught the lesson. So now you want to give the summary of the lesson before you wind up. So rather than you giving all the summary, you can ask a series of questions from the students, and the answers they give, that is the revision of the lesson. So teachers have very many ways of summarizing, summing up lessons and all that. For that, you can use a set of questions. And by getting them to answer that, you can actually revise the whole lesson that you have done today. Form of evaluation. Form of evaluation means assessment, whether they have learned it or not. Whether they have learned it or not. If you want to know whether they have learned it or not, you can ask a set of questions from them. So it's evaluating whether they have learned it or not. Okay. So for very many purposes that you can use questioning, no? It's actually lots of purposes are there. Lots of uses are there. You call it actually very useful. So each and every teacher should use it on daily basis. Now here, Agrawal, 1996. Activity 1. Read the following and complete the grid on categories of questions and their uses by Agrawal. I repeat, this is taken from a research paper. I have given a section like this, a very small part. Here, only this much. So when you read this, you can complete this grid. What is this grid about? Type of questions, when it is presented, what is the objective of actually asking those type of questions, and any other remarks that you can find. So here it's the activity. So will you be able to do that? First, I will show you this. Now you have pen and paper. Have you all got pen and paper with you?
Yeah, ma'am.
Now quickly draw these 4 columns. Quickly draw these 4 columns and name it. Okay then. Done.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now I will show you this part. It's only this. Sometimes objectives of all the types are not given. So sometimes there can be blanks, right? Some boxes cannot be completed. Sometimes for all the types, no remarks given, any other information given. So what is available, you can do it now. So I'm showing you this. How much time you need? 5 minutes? Is it 5 minutes? කතා කරන්න. Is it enough 5 minutes?
No, madam, 10 minutes give me.
10 minutes. I want nice job done. Okay. Now you have the grid with you. Now read and do. Right. I'm giving 10 minutes. Now it's 8:06. I get you to stop at 8:15. 9 minutes. Okay. Very good. Mm. Uh, Stiani. Are you all okay? Done?
Still doing it now.
All right, okay. Another 2 minutes. Enough, no?
Hope so.
we'll stop now. It's all right, even if you could not do everything, right? Are you okay for the discussion? Are you okay for the discussion?
Okay, ma'am.
Right. Now let's look at the grid. Now you tell me the first question. You all answer me. The types of questions. Or what categories of questions?
Oh,
Ma'am, shall I?
Yeah, how many? What are they?
There are four.
Questions to?
Not four.
Yeah.
Yes.
Questions
Tell.
to
Questions.
introduction question.
or beginner lesson.
Questions to introduction or begin the lesson.
Questions to ask beginning a lesson. Question to develop a
Mm.
lesson. Question to
Mm.
recalling. Question for evaluation and assessment.
Very good. According to Agrawal 1996, there are 4 categories of questions or types of questions that you can ask in a class. You all nicely said questions to introduce or begin, questions to develop the lesson, questions for recalling, and questions for evaluation and assessment. Okay, when it is asked, you all can tell me now. More information about questions to begin the lesson. When it is presented, objectives and remarks.
It is
It is presented on beginning of the lesson,
Listen.
Okay.
and the objectives are examine the previous knowledge and link knowledge with previous lessons and motivate students and arouse curiosity about the lesson.
Yeah. Arouse curiosity, recall, examine previous knowledge, link new knowledge with the previous knowledge and motivating them. Very good. They are the objectives of asking questions to introduce or begin the lesson. Very good. Any other remarks, Yatati? You have anything to write?
Any other remarks? The teacher could be fined about the mental readiness of the students using this category.
Okay, very good. Teacher can, it's from the text that you found, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, very good. Mental readiness of the child can be actually, teacher can find out through such questions. Very good. So can we go to the second category? Who will talk about the second category? Anybody? Second category is to develop a lesson. So when are they asked and what are the purposes and any other remarks? Do you have anything to tell?
Yeah, ma'am. Their objectives are to guide students to discover facts for themselves.
Okay.
Draw students' attention to the important points.
Yeah.
Help develop knowledge step by step. And then ensure attention of all students.
Yeah, you can ask questions in development of the stage, and these are the users. As you said, discover facts for themselves, draw students' attention of all students, and then make it effective questioning. There should, right, okay. Sorry, I was reading some other places. You said all that, okay? So step-by-step development of the lesson, and then the students will be very focused, right? They will be on alert because teacher asks questions like that. Okay, very good. Any other remarks? Sometimes there's nothing for any other remarks. Did you find any other remarks?
That's all.
Teacher makes question from known to unknown.
From known to unknown. Very good. Teacher can ask questions to take them from known to unknown, with what they know to what the new knowledge. Very good. Okay, now what is the third type of question?
Questions for recalling.
Yeah. What are the details from the other columns for this type? Tell Putta.
Centered.
Yes. Hello.
They are normally presented at the end of the lesson or at the end of each section of the lesson. No, it is for a question for evaluation, I think.
Yeah.
Before that,
Questions for recalling. Questions for recalling.
Hello.
to guide
Yeah.
students discover facts for themselves. And draw students' attention to the important points.
Okay. Right. And then the last part is for assessment and evaluation.
Yes.
They are presented at the end of the lesson. And the purpose is to check whether they have actually learned the lesson. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this, of course, is Agrawal's classification of questions. And Agrawal talks about the uses of questioning by referring to the 4 categories and when they are actually put across and what are their uses and all that. So this is actually helpful for you to understand. So what a lot of questions that you can ask in the class as a teacher for different purposes because they have their own uses. Okay, right. Now we come to the second, another subtopic of question. Now we discuss uses of question. We looked at Agrawal. We look at Colvin. They both talk about the uses of question, right? And if I ask you a question at the examination, what are the uses of questioning in the classroom? You can actually refer to Colvin, you can refer to Agrawal and develop a good answer there, right? Because Colvin doesn't talk about the 4 categories and when it is put across and all that. So Agrawal adds more into Colvin's explanation. So you can combine both and write an answer. That is what is expected at degree level, and you have to develop those skills in you, right? So for that, you have to be thorough first. Study. Agrawal me කිව්වා Colvin මෙහෙම කිව්වා මේ දෙන්නම කියපු දේවල් මේවා අමතරව කිව්ව දේවල් මේවා වගේ අපි මේවත් එක්ක ඩැබල් කරන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම තමයි අපේ දැනුම දියුණු වෙලා අපි skills දියුණු වෙලා අපිට masters ඒවා කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ, right? මම හැමතිස්සෙම අවවාද දෙනවා මට ඕනේ ඔයගොල්ලන් online වුණාට හොඳට වැඩ කරන්න. Okay? At the end of the day that you are skilled, you are competent, you are knowledgeable, all are there. Just you don't have to just get the certificate and finish it off. That is my intention. That's why I'm actually giving you a lot of advice. Okay. Now here we'll come to the next subtopic of question. Are you ready?
Yeah, madam.
Yeah. What is this first next subtopic on the questioning technique? Features of effective questioning. What is it? Features of effective questioning. We call them questioning strategies. What do we call them? Questioning
Strategy.
Very good. So now, actually, I have a video also. But I will not play the video. I will first talk to you. You can make your own notes if you want. If not, that I will send you the link to the video and you can watch. Right. The question strategies, if you can, you have pen and paper, you can write it down. First one, First one, equitable distribution. What is the first one? Equitable distribution. Equitable distribution is one strategy. What is this equitable distribution? You don't have to take down. I will get you to watch the video. Don't worry. So equitable distribution means if you're the teacher asking questions from your class, you have to actually equally distribute the questions among your students. Challenge, I know. If you have 40 students in the class, equally distributing questions among 40 students is a challenge. But that is a strategy that is effective use of questioning technique. Okay. So as much as possible, you have to actually promote equitable distribution of questioning in the class. So how can you actually promote it? Equitable distribution. Now, one such way is you can mentally divide your class into segments. Mentally divide your class into segments. This side, left, right. Left front, right front. Left middle, right middle. Left back, right back. You have divided your class into 6 segments now. So you pick from left front. Then you pick one from left right. Left back. Then you pick from right middle, like that. Then at least some, to a certain extent, there is equal distribution. That is one way of actually promoting equal distribution of questionings in the classroom. Got my point?
Yeah.
Yeah, that there is a kind of a actually wrong habit of the teachers. Maybe that if you're a teacher, if you have been a student, sometimes you might actually recall your experiences. Teachers are in the habit of asking questions from the front rows, ignoring, neglecting the back. Sometimes teachers are in the habit of asking questions those who actually are good in their subject, because they just give the answer, it's easy for the teacher. And those who struggle, they are never questioned by the teacher. So there's no equal distribution. So you have to minimize that. You have to maximize equal distribution. 100% may not be possible, but you have to make sure that you actually take conscious efforts as the teacher to equally distribute the questions in the class if you really want to use questioning as a technique very effectively in the class. I will give you another way of actually promoting equal distribution of questions. Now, in small classes, now you can have lollipop sticks, right? Maybe 40 in the class, 40 lollipop sticks in a mug or in a jar. And the lollipop sticks have the students' names. So you ask a question and randomly pick a lollipop stick and a name. That means a name. So students are on the alert. No, anytime my name will be called. And you don't actually look at the students and ask. You take a lollipop stick. It has this name, Amma. You put the question to Amma. Then they will be actually focused and on alert as well, because they don't know any time that the teacher might call my name. That advantage is also there. That is about what is the questioning strategy I discussed. Equitable distribution of questions. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah. Second one now you can take down. Second one, wait time. Okay, the second strategy. What's the second strategy? Wait time. What is meant by wait time? Now, sometimes we ask questions from our students. You hardly give any time for them to form the answer. They have to put 2 and 2 together and get set and form the answer. They need time, but you never wait for that. You ask the question and then move to the next student and quickly, if not you yourself give the answer without understanding, without actually not knowing that the student knows the answer, but he or she needs some time to organize the answer. But you don't do that. You just actually move on to the next. If not, you yourself give the right answer. That is wrong. It's not effective use of questioning. You're not using questioning in an effective manner. But if you ask a question, make sure that you give wait time. That wait time also is very useful, very important for the student to organize their answer and give the answer. Otherwise, students give up because teacher asks the questions and she moves on to another, or she herself gives the answer. I don't have to worry much about it. They give up, right? They give up their attempts. But if you give them wait time, they know and teacher expects me to answer. So I have to actually organize the answer and give it together. Got my point?
Yeah, ma'am.
Right. Now, how many strategies we have discussed so far?
2.
2. What are they?
Equitable distribution,
Wait time. Very good. So third one, right? Third one is this frequency. You can take it down, frequency. 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 What is meant by frequency? The teacher asks questions, but once in blue moon, indala hitala. You know the
That means rarely.
very rarely. Once in blue moon. Just ask a question. No, you're not using questioning as a technique in a very effective way. If you really want to make use of this questioning in a very effective way, you have to ask questions frequently. Frequently means that at the beginning of the lesson, in the middle of the lesson, at the end of the lesson, for different purposes, for arousing curiosity, for creating interest, for recalling prior knowledge, to check their understanding and all that reasons. So very frequently that you ask questions. That is frequency. How often that you ask questions. That is very important. Okay. So the advantage is then you are actually you can motivate them, you can actually recall their prior knowledge. All these uses are there then if you frequently ask questions from your students. So that is effective way of actually using the questioning technique in the class. Now we have discussed 3. The fourth one, you can take it down. We have discussed wait time, equitable distribution, and then frequency. The fourth one, repetition. Repetition. R-E-P-E-T-I-O-N. What is meant by repetition?
repeating.
The
Repeating.
same thing
Do it
again
again.
and again asking.
Very good. Very good. Why should we do that?
Then they can remind.
Some students may can't
Then
understand.
the students may be able to revise the lesson.
Yeah. Yes, to a certain extent, yes. Then others? Why should we repeat the same question? Isn't it a kind of a boring thing and a waste of time? No. You have to repeat questions. The questions on important parts of the lesson. What is it? Questions on important parts of the lesson. Yeah. They can be repeated. Then they will not forget. They know these are the important areas of the lesson. That is why the teacher is asking these questions repeatedly. Right? So repetition is a strategy that you have to use in the use of questioning technique. Why? The teacher can ask questions repeatedly on important parts of the lesson. Got it?
Yeah, ma'am.
Right. Okay. The next strategy. Probing. What is it? Probing. Next strategy is probing. Probing. What is probing? Probing means, I have actually spoken to you about probing. Probing means one after the other, step-by-step simple questions. What is probing? Eliciting. To elicit students, what the students know. You can ask simple questions, step by step, guiding the learner
That means
towards.
known to unknown.
Sorry?
Known to unknown.
Yeah, that is also known to unknown maybe, but now simple, right? You're asking very simple questions, guiding the learner towards the correct answer. Guiding the learner towards the correct answer. You get my point?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. You ask a series of questions, simple questions, series of them, guiding the learner towards the correct answer. Right? Okay. So then students actually become satisfied because teacher actually guides the learner to give the correct answer through a series of questions because you guide them towards the correct answer. So it uses the students will be very kind of confident because we can answer questions and all that. So those are the actually questioning strategies because questioning as a technique has lots of advantages. By now we know we look at Colvin, we look at Agrawal. But the thing is, just because that you just for the sake of asking questions, if you ask questions, they're not very effective. So how to make use of this technique, questioning as a technique in an effective way that you can actually refer to the 5 strategies. The 5 strategies are, can you? The 5
Equitable
strategies are
equitable distribution, wait,
Time,
a frequency, a repetition, probing, wait, second one I forgot.
wait time, equitable distribution, wait time, probing, repetition, and it's like a frequency. Frequency. Very good. So can I show you the video on this?
Yeah,
Let
sure,
me-
ma'am.
Right. Give me a second. Right. Oops. That of course question strategies. But I second. Putta, I can't actually find the proper one. Because of that, I will actually come back to you next time. Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah, ma'am.
because there are ones which are actually very comprehensive. I did not discuss a lot on that. So because of that, I think, right. So I will actually get back to you on that. And then I want to tell you something like this also. I will, as homework, okay? As homework, I will send you another video, right? Which I actually did not discuss on questioning technique. And as I actually ask you to now find some videos and then get the students to do something. Y'all are not small children. I'm not using FlipNet. But I will ask you to actually watch it and come prepared to talk about it the next day in 1 minute. In 1 minute. Okay? You got me?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. So that you have to watch it and get the summary of what you watch and then come prepared to talk about in 1 minute. So no fillers, nothing. You're very well prepared. Okay? It will help you to actually develop your language, communication skills and all that as well, and autonomous learning because you are doing it on your own. So I'll be sending it by tomorrow. You have a week's time for that also. Will you be doing? Each and every one of you, because it's only 1 minute. Okay?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, dear.
And we didn't get any PDF regarding this topic.
Today's lesson, of course, normally I'm in the habit of sending you the notes after the lecture, no?
Yeah, ma'am. The last one also like flip
What
method.
is? No, I sent.
We didn't get it, ma'am.
You have to actually make sure that you get, okay, all the materials. I sent to the institute, you have to talk to them. The recording is there in the system, no, Moodle?
Yeah.
It's there, and then materials also, they will upload. You have to keep on reminding them, okay? I have sent Putta.
Okay, ma'am.
Normally after the lecture only I'm sending. Now here, look at this. Features of effective questions. Now questioning means the teacher asks questions from the students. Am I right? Teacher has to ask questions, no? Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are the features of effective questions that the teacher asks? The language should be very
Questions should
simple.
be
Very short, simple questions. Clear, precise. Right? Sometimes the teachers ask questions. I have seen that. Answer is only 1 or 2 words. But the question is very long. Answer is only 1 or 2 words. But the teacher goes asking a big question. A lengthy one. Right? If you have to go there and meet somebody and up there and you were doing like this, you were doing and you were doing and you were doing and you were doing all that, the answer is only 1 word or 2 words. That is not proper questioning. You get my point?
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Simple language. You don't have to use very high flown language because the students are struggling with the content. Science content, maths content, social studies content and all that. So when they're struggling with content that the teacher use, it doesn't have to be very decorative and all that. It has to be very simple. Okay. The questions you ask should actually suit the age and the ability level of the student. Age. Now, the questions that you ask from the grade 11s and the questions you ask from grade 1, it's totally different because they are age levels and the ability levels as well. It's the same class. It's a set of grade 6 students. You have different ability levels in the class. So as the teacher, if you have the same questions to be asked from the students, you're not a good teacher. So we'll ask questions, rephrase them, simplify them, because you think of the ability level of the students as well, not only the age, right? Questions, if they are very easy, students lose interest because there's no challenge. If it is too hard, the questions that you ask, students give up. Her questions we never answer, we never know. They are too hard to answer. They will not brainstorm, they will not tire themselves. So you don't have to make it too easy and too difficult also. And then there should be diversity in the nature of the questions asked. If it is always yes/no questions that you ask, students actually don't benefit out of your question. So you, as the teacher, should master the art of asking questions, different types of questions, WH questions, yes/no questions, and then rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions means you ask questions, but don't expect the answer. And why do you ask that question? That is to actually make you interested and pay attention to an important area. Right? For example, you may ask, have you heard of this person? Have you heard of Mahatma Gandhi? You don't expect the students to say yes, but you want them to pay attention to, you're going to now talk about Mahatma Gandhi. So rhetorical questions, you ask that question without expecting an answer from the students. So have diversity in the questions that you ask. The question should not contain its answer. There are some teachers, they ask questions. In the question itself, the answer can be worked out. That shows that you're not very well prepared with the questions to be asked. In lesson planning, that if you intend to ask a set of questions, you have to write them beforehand, before you walk into the class, that you have written them in the lesson plan, okay? So the question should not contain its answer. Loaded questions should not be asked. What is loaded questions? You should not ask loaded questions. What is loaded questions?
Not relevant for the lesson.
A question which contains several answers.
Yeah, that means that the one question has several questions. Now, for example, if you ask the child, the simple one, how does your mother and father help you in doing homework? How do your mother and father help you in homework? Then the child has to talk about how does the mother help, how does the father help. So it's double barrel, it's a loaded question. Giving the answer is difficult. It's confusing for the child. Because father helps, mother helps. So then the child is confused. How do your father and mother? Then the child is in kind of a difficulty in answering. Just a simple ask, but with when it comes subject matter also, you ask questions. It has several actually questions embedded into it. That should not be done. You have to make sure it's a one single question at a time that you ask. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now here this activity 3, it is set for homework once again. It's given as a group work, but I will not get you to actually do it in class because it takes time consuming. Right. I will send it to you and work in groups of 3 have put. Read the text and identify 10 important aspects to be considered by the teacher in dealing with student questions. Because questions are asked not only by the teacher, no. Students also will ask questions from you. So I will set it for home for you. I'm not going to discuss it in class today. Right. Are you okay with the discussion today on questioning technique?
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
be sending you the videos and the reading material. So you can be thorough with that. And have you actually understood that? It's very important for the teacher to actually uh, uh, be very good in the questioning technique. Have you understood it?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, that is it, no? We don't think much, but they say it's very important for the teacher to be actually very good in asking questions in the class. Okay, and we can go on actually looking at some other aspects also. Now there are some question designs, Kela. Question designs that you are using questioning as a technique. I just mentioned you. I will show you if you really want. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Second. Right, anyway. Now, for example, if I tell you, now you can actually get them to a hot seat. Hot seat is one design because they are also actually research done by educationists. So how they can actually, because this is a hackneyed technique, but very useful. So you have to actually think of bringing in a variety in the use of questioning technique. So they say, right, okay, not the same way every day. So one fine day you get them to come to the hot seat. Now hot seat means you will ask a question. The one who answers, they can come to the hot seat. As it happens on Sirasa, wants to be a billionaire, Lakshapati, like that. And then the other ways are also there. So you can actually create a lot of games and conduct question and answer sessions in the class. That is actually question designs. So there are a lot of actually research done to introduce lots of question designs in the classroom as well. So now it's actually almost 9. So I will actually discuss another technique, a very simple one. Look at this. Teaching system. Another technique. What is it?
Teaching systems.
Teaching systems. This is not a very lengthy one, but you can use this also as a classroom teaching technique. First one is whole class teaching. Whole class is not a big one. Everyone knows it. All of us are used to this system of whole class students at the same time. According to present day progressive ideas on teaching, even though it's clear that this system is appropriate to be used always teaching, there are many instances when this teaching system could be effectively used. You teach the whole class. But team teaching, it's a new concept. Team teaching means now several teachers teach the same subject. For example, especially the subject like literature, English literature. If not English language, there are 2 or 3 English teachers sharing the subject. So for grammar, one teacher comes to the class. For speaking, another teacher comes to the class. If it is literature, short stories done by one teacher, short stories done by one teacher, poetry done by another teacher, like that. I know in some schools, grade 11 science, you have physics part. Some teachers are science teachers are not good in teaching physics. Because of that, they get some maths teacher to come and teach physics. This is team teaching. This is also a technique that the teachers can get together and use, promote classroom learning and teaching. Then get multi-grade teaching. Multi-grade means this happens in rural schools actually. As there's a dearth of teachers. There's a dearth of teachers. No? The dearth of teachers means now enough teachers are not there. So few students also in rural schools. In grade 10, you have 5 students. In grade 11, you have 8 students, like that. Dearth of teachers also adequate numbers. So what you do is you get them, you put them in one class and teach. That is multi-grade teaching. But it happens not only in rural areas due to lack of teachers. I remember those days, this is long time back. I started my career as a teacher like you all. When I was teaching in grade 9, 10, 11 classes, when they go to grade 11, I identify some students, those who have not learned some aspects in grade 10. So I actually put them into one class and teach them. I don't tell them because you have not learned it, but this is revision for you. Something like that I tell them, and at the same time, 11s, I tell them it's revision. You can help the younger ones. I want you to be in one class. Likewise, I actually engage in multi-grade teaching. So multi-grade teaching is a situation in which one teacher has to teach combining many grades, all at the same time. It happens in small schools in rural areas where there are more grades than teachers. But it can happen in big schools also, if the teacher wishes. So for the grade 11s, it's a repetition, revision, right? Grade 10s, they can learn from the grade 11s also. Those advantages are there. So group teaching, different things to different people, like we have discussed grouping. So you don't have to worry heterogeneous and homogeneous, we discuss. So you know it. So then we can actually discuss brainstorming as a teaching technique. But now it's sharp 9. We will take a 10-minute break. Otherwise, it's very boring and tired also. But there are 9 of you in the class, Pute. Today, after brainstorming, I'm going to discuss teaching models. Very important for you, right? Because we have to get into lesson planning also. Because of that, teaching models will be introduced next. So because of that, don't actually think, it's late. Now I don't want to get back here. Because last time, after the break, 10 minutes break, very few came. So today, don't do that. All the 9 are coming. Are you sure?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Then make it
Yeah,
9,
ma'am.
10.
Yeah,
Please,
coming.
9, 10. Make sure that you all back. All right. 9, 10. 10 minutes you have. Sharp 9, 10. Be back. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Y'all are there, no? Okay. Right. Now, we will actually discuss brainstorming as a teaching technique. Now, we have discussed teaching techniques like grouping, systems, questioning. Now, we are going to look at brainstorming. Brainstorming as a teaching technique. Actually, this is a highly student-centered technique. It comes in student-centered approach. Actually speaking, we are not empty vessels. We have a lot of knowledge, prior knowledge in us. But when it comes to do something, we ourselves have kind of an inhibition. We can't actually do it on our own. Why? Because we can't actually retrieve easily what we know about something, because we have not practiced it in our education. So in student-centered education, we actually get them to become autonomous learners. We get them to make use of their existing prior knowledge. And all that. Now, this technique will not actually be useful in all the subjects. Maybe not in all the areas, but there are areas, topics, subjects that this brainstorming can be easily used. So, Sinhala word for brainstorming, hope that you all understand. You all know your Sinhala. There are Muslims also, I don't know. I just give the Sinhala term. I don't know the Tamil term, sorry about it. Buddhi Kalambane. That is getting the students to freely express their ideas and thoughts on a subject or a topic. Encouraging students to freely express their own ideas, thoughts, what they already know about a topic. And here in our classes, you can see traditional classes, teacher-centered classes. Sometimes students know something, but they are reluctant to actually talk about them. They are just actually, they just come to listen to the teacher and go back. But in student-centered classes, we don't actually encourage it. We instead get the learners to know, actually express, talk about what they already know, and lead discussions and all that. So for that, before you to discuss, you have to use the technique of brainstorming. Otherwise, they have nothing to discuss. They are not ready, equipped. They are not equipped with ideas to discuss, to put across the discussion table. So for that, you can actually make use of this brainstorming as a technique, that is getting the learner to express what they know about a topic in a very free manner, So that is brainstorming. In a brainstorming session, there are no right answers, there are no wrong answers. Instead, you get them to actually think of what they actually already know about this topic. It can be right, it can be wrong, it can be relevant, it can be irrelevant. They don't have to think much about it. Whatever comes to their mind, they have to actually express it. Brainstorming is that. Express means they can write it down. You can hold your, without taking off your pen, without taking off the pen, taking the pen off the paper, right? Without taking the pen off the paper, that you can go on writing about a topic for 1 minute. So spelling errors, nothing you have to be worried about. Just go on writing. So that is brainstorming. So they will write. Sometimes they are relevant, some they're not so relevant. It's all right. During the brainstorming, no actually inhibitions. If you stop them for wrong answers, if you stop them for irrelevant answers, if you stop them for spelling mistakes, then actually they will not be able to engage in brainstorming. So because of that, when you organize a brainstorming session for the free expression of ideas on a topic, you have to actually make sure that feedback is withheld. Feedback is withheld. Feedback is withheld means you're not going to actually give feedback and say right or wrong and all that. And you have to set a time frame. Time frame means if you don't say within 1 minute, within 2 minutes, they will take their own time and do it leisurely, and then brainstorming will not be there. I have only 1 minute for everything like that, then only that the brainstorming becomes very effective. So setting a time frame is also very important. Okay. And once the brainstorming is done, that you can actually get them to lead a discussion. Lead a discussion. Okay. Right. That is about actually brainstorming as a technique. You don't have to really be kind of thorough with the brainstorming sessions, but there can be different types of brainstorming, like simple brainstorming. For example, write down the discussion question on the blackboard or a flip chart and encourage students to add their inputs. After the time is over, the students can voice the ideas written on the board or chart. Always time frame is very important. That's the thing. Withholding feedback and setting a time frame. That is very important in brainstorming. I have seen, so I used to teach observations to schools. These very experienced teachers, they use brainstorming as a technique, but they forget to actually set a time frame. So it's a failure because your brain is not actually put to work hard if you don't set time frame. Okay. Then brainstorming. It's a strategy that the students are divided in pairs and each pair discusses the ideas and note them down. Pie method. A circle is drawn and the topic written in the center. It's another brainstorming method. Pie method. A circle is drawn, the topic written in the center. The teacher divides the circle into 6 parts, representing subtopics. Students are instructed to generate ideas for each subtopic, and these are written down. At the end of the lesson, the diagram represents all the ideas that make the total topic. For example, pie method, you're getting them to talk about pollution. So you think there are 4 types of pollution. So you can put the 4 subtopics, air pollution, sound pollution, like that. And the students, whatever they comes to their mind, they think this goes to land pollution, they write under land pollution. He thinks that this goes under air pollution. What he knows, he puts it into air pollution, like that. Ultimately, there's a pool of ideas. Okay. That is pie method. Card method. I have actually tried this when I was a teacher. Card method is another brainstorming method that cards are passed on, the students add comments. At the end, they are presented to the class. Now, for example, you can actually have only 1 card. You keep others waiting. No? Then for one student is writing, the others are waiting. You can actually use about 5-6 cards, and they have subtopics written, and they are sent around, and they write something on that topic. That is brainstorming card method. Now, sometimes when it comes to the Teacher's Day and all that, you send a card around and the students write something comes to their mind about the teacher. That is also in a way a brainstorm session. You get them to think about the teacher, right? They brainstorm and write a word. That is card method. You pass it around, right? Okay. So the brainstorming is also highly student-centered method. Okay, now with that, we actually finish our discussion on teaching techniques. We discuss under teaching techniques, we discuss grouping, we discuss questioning, we discuss systems, we discuss brainstorm, right? We discuss brainstorming. So now we set aside the approaches, methods, and techniques. That topic is set aside, okay, for the time being. Now we move on to a new topic. That new topic is, please take down your notes, teaching models. What is the new topic, Puta?
Teaching models.
Models. Very good. Now, what is meant by teaching models? That is my question for you. What is your guess? What is meant by teaching model?
How to plan a
Can you,
lesson?
how to plan a lesson? Now, how to plan a lesson is yes, but a model should be there for you to plan the lesson, right? Teaching model is not exactly planning lesson. For you to plan a lesson, you have to actually first select the teaching model. Accordingly, that you have to plan the lesson. So lesson planning comes after the teaching models. Once you decide on the particular model to teach, then you can actually start doing the lesson plan. That, of course, I agree with you. Just give a kind of a little bit of a
How does the teacher engage with the lesson?
how
With the
does
children?
the teacher
Engage
engage? There's a truth in what
through
you
the
say.
lesson.
Yeah, there's a truth in what you say. How you're going to actually
Present the lesson.
present the lesson. I will tell you. That is it. How you're going to present the lesson. Now I tell you, it's like this. Now y'all, if you are a new teacher, novice teacher, you know all the approaches, methods, and techniques. Individually, you can talk about them. Scientific method is this, flipped method is this, and this technique is this, student-centered approach is this, and all that. You can nicely talk about them. But when it is come to classroom teaching and learning session, now you have to teach how to get organized and how to conduct my teaching based on what I have learned about approaches, methods, and techniques, and what I've selected. That is a difficulty for the novice teacher. There, of course, you are actually taught and you know something about these teaching models. So these models are systematizing. The models systematize.
And here,
The
madam, what is that word? Novice.
novice teachers, N-O-V-I-C-E.
N
Novice,
O
new, N-O-V-I-C-E. Novice means inexperienced teachers. Okay, novices again, N-O-V-I-C-E. Novice
Novice teacher.
teachers. Yeah.
No.
Inexperience. You need to gain experience. You are new to the profession, right? So then
Thank you,
it's
ma'am.
very difficult for you to actually put these methods and techniques into classroom practice. For that, you can actually make use of a model which is a systematization of your classroom instruction. I will give you one example. Okay. Now, moving away from the classroom, think of something like this. Now, you are not a seamstress. You're not very good in your sewing, right? You're not very good in your sewing. You have to get it done. But you really want to actually try it. Now, for example, if you're a teacher, this is my true experience long time back. If you're a teacher, that you have to actually get the sari jackets done. And these days, very expensive now, getting a sari jacket. It sometimes costs more than the Sari, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of that, maybe that your mother is an expert. Your mother is an expert. It happens to me and it did not work with me, right? Long time back I'm referring to. So your mother might say, Ani, you're wasting a lot of money on these sari jackets. So I will do a I will do a block for you. Pataroma. I will do a block for you. And you keep the block on the cloth and cut it and stitch. You're not an expert, but your mother has actually given you a block. She did the block for you. Now you keep the block on the cloth and cut the cloth and then stitch it. Sometimes do we do like that?
Yes.
You didn't get it, or did you understand what I was telling? The example I gave.
Yeah,
Yes.
madam. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not expert in sewing, but your mother is an expert. Your mother did the block for you. You keep the block on the cloth and cut it and stitch it. Wow, it's nice, right? So something like that. So you're still in experience. So you want to actually gain experience. So the models are like for you to actually use as blocks, right? And you get into that block and do your teaching. Wow, it's nicely kind of happening. Something like that. So the models are a very good help for the novice teachers in organizing classroom teaching and learning. In organizing classroom teaching and learning means you're writing lesson plans on what you're going to do the next day in the class, right? So for you to do that, you need a model if you're an inexperienced teacher. So there are several models of teaching actually, right? There are several models of teaching. But in this program, thinking of the time frame, because we have other areas also to discuss, I have selected very common models, 2 of them. How many of them? 2 of them.
2 of them.
The 2 models are the PPP model of teaching. All of you, what's the model? PPP model of teaching. Second one, 5E model of learning. What are the 2 models that we are going to discuss?
5E.
Now, first, the PPP model. Take a bit teacher-centered, okay? A bit teacher-centered, not 100%. A bit teacher-centered. PPP model of teaching. We're still using this model, though it's teacher-centered. And highly student-centered. Highly student-centered model is 5E model of teaching. Now, PPP, it's more onto into teacher-centered education, teacher-centered approach. PPP stands for presentation, practice, and production. What is it? Presentation, practice, and production stage. 5E, engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and evaluation. It's another model, right? So we'll start with the PPP model of teaching. Okay. And once we are done with the PPP model of teaching, we will do 5E model of teaching. Once 5E model of teaching is also discussed, we will write a lesson plan for PPP model and 5E model. You understand?
Madam.
Yeah.
Madam, tell me presentation, practicing, and the other one?
Presentation, practice, and production.
Production.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. So we'll start with the PPP model. Okay. Right. I'm opening my PowerPoint for you. Right. Here you can see the PowerPoint. Yeah. PPP model of teaching. Teaching with PPP. Very common one. Right. This PPP stands for this. Can you see? Presentation, practice, and production. presentation, practice and production. So I will get you to give me a second, please. I'll get you to right. Look at the features of PPP. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. On the first stage of the lesson. Now, if you are a teacher using this PPP model of teaching for a particular lesson, right? For a particular lesson, you think, I will use PPP model. Then it has 3 stages. Your lesson has 3 stages. So the first stage is presentation stage. I told you this is a bit centered. Okay. This is more into teacher-centered approach. So in the presentation stage, the teacher talk time, teacher talk time, TTT, teacher talk time is 75%. So the lesson begins with presentation stage. In the PPP model, your lesson begins with the presentation stage. At the outset itself, that means once you start the lesson, who goes on talking in the class? Teacher. Teacher talk time is very high, 75% of teacher talk at the outset of the lesson, because it's more into teacher-centered education, right? So teacher explains the lesson to the students by giving examples and all that. Teacher goes on explaining. That is teacher talk time is 75. So teacher presents the subject matter. Teacher explains. So teacher talk time is very high. Okay. Teacher actually focus on accuracy means correct information is taught to the student. They should know the correct information, correct subject matter. So because of that, teacher thinks it's better that I give them the subject matter first. I teach them the subject matter first. And then I will see whether the students have understood it by asking a few questions or whatever. Normally in a 40-minute class, presentation stage can be less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. But it all students listening, teacher talking. So teacher talk time is 75%. Accurate information to be taught, accurate knowledge should be imparted to the student. Because of that, teacher explains the lesson with examples and some questions to check whether they have understood. That is the presentation stage. Out of the 40 minutes, about 10 minutes are spent on this stage. Clear the...
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Then come to the second stage. Second stage is practice stage or control practice stage. Why do we say control practice stage, Kela? Because practice stage is still students should not make mistakes. If they make mistake, they will actually get they get fossilized, right? Because teacher-centered qualities, right? Students should first learn it by repetition, right? Repeat, 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 and by heart and rote learn, right? Because of that, errors should not be committed. If they commit errors, learning is habit formation, they will actually continue to make errors. Because of that, we should minimize errors. So for that, you give them controlled practice activities. So you get the students to practice what they have learned, but you don't give them a lot of freedom. Maybe that you give them same type of activities, do it over and over. For example, if it's an English lesson, you teach them S form or base form in simple present. You give them a series of sentences. They have to choose the S form or the base form. So it's only choosing. They don't do it on their own. So they will actually, it's controlled practice. There's hardly any mistakes that they can make. If it is a mathematics class, the teacher actually get them to fill in the blank with the correct number. Something like that. If it is a science class, maybe matching. So it's controlled. There's hardly any room for mistakes, right? They should not make mistake at this stage. And then the last one is the production stage. That half of class time is spent on the control practice stage. Half of your class time is spent on the control practice stage. Models are given. They will follow the model, do something similar. It's a model is there for them to look at and do. So they will not make a lot of mistakes. There's no lot of freedom also. They're not doing on their own. Model is there, the model is followed, right? Something like that. And talk time is 40% and talk time is 60% during control practice. Then come the production stage. Production stage is also more than 10% of the, more than 10 minutes of the class time. And student talk time is very high, 80% or more. And there is freedom for the students. Now they can use their knowledge and do something more using the knowledge that they learned. For example, if you have taught them the angles or areas or whatever, now they can actually use that knowledge and do something on their own. They can actually prepare some models or whatever. If you have taught them simple presentations, now they can talk about their own regular life, how they spend their time on Sundays and all that. Likewise, they use that knowledge and do something using that knowledge is production stage. There, of course, they have the freedom to freely use the knowledge that they use. So this is the 3 stages of the PPP model. Though I actually talk about these 3 stages, you may have doubts, but because of that, you don't have to worry. But we will be actually writing a lesson plan once we do lesson planning for both PPP model and 5E model, both. 5E model is totally different from this. It's highly student-centered. Now, PPP model is teacher-centered. No? So students are empty vessels. Students' prior knowledge is not recalled. And students, they actually have to listen to the teacher and learn. Those attitudes are there. No errors should not be made. So based on that only this is developed. So PPP method is good for new teachers. Teachers trained on this method find it easy to use new methods and approaches than those who do not. It encourages accuracy or fluency. It does not allow for recapitulation. Too much teacher talking time during the presentation stage. Students can put into practice what they have learned. They can use their own ideas. That is at the production stage. I want to tell you something. Remember, now, if you are using the PPP model, there are 3 stages. You have to write the lesson plan, what is to be done in the presentation stage, what is to be done in the practice stage, what is to be done in the production stage here. This is, you have to select this when it is suitable. Now, suppose, though this is highly teacher-centered, there is a lesson which is very difficult for the students to work out on their own as the constructivists, the student-centered approaches believe in. It's very difficult for the students to work on their own. It's better if the teacher explains first. Then you can actually use the PPP model even today, right? So there are no hard and fast rules to say, this is bad, this is good. So if it is appropriate that you can select. So sometimes when the subject matter is very difficult, teachers use this model to teach the students, though it is a teacher-centered model. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
So next day, අපි ඇත්තටම we will today itself I can start the 5E model also, so don't worry. But අපි example එකක් බලමු PPP method එකට. What are your subjects? You tell me. You are from different subject areas. No? So when I actually discuss next day, then I can actually. Fatima, what is your subject mainly?
English language.
English. Afra,
Miss, I'm not teaching now, currently.
right. What do you want to teach?
Environmental science.
Okay. Vidanagi,
English, ma'am.
Reena,
English, ma'am.
Salma.
English language and English literature.
Okay. Most of them are from Situmi,
Mathematics.
mathematics. Salma, I spoke to Salma. Sanji,
Ma'am, I'm the in charge of grade 1 teacher. So
Yeah.
I'm doing all the subjects. So
yeah,
grade
yeah,
1,
I know.
I need grade 1 lesson.
That is a bit of a difficulty, but PPP is applicable here, you know. Situmi,
Yes.
I talk. Salma, Reena,
English, ma'am.
English. So for the time being, I will give you an example from English classroom, right? Mathematics වලත් මේක ලස්සනට කරන්න පුළුවන්. We will take 2 examples from English and mathematics. Now, suppose you're teaching a grade 6 class, right? You think that it's a grammar lesson. It's a grammar lesson. Grade 6 grammar, now we can say simple present tense, active voice, positive. That's the lesson today, right? You think grammar, no? Rather than getting the students to discover on its own the grammar rule, I will better, right, explain everything and get the students to understand and check whether they have understood it, and then get them to practice it, control practice without making mistakes. There are the answers. They have to select the answers so they don't have to make mistakes. And then production stage, I will get them to do some own language, writing or speaking. So you can do like this. So presentation stage, you will go in front of class. Your students are seated. You write everything on the board and explains the grammar rule. You write here the pronoun chart, I, we, you, singular, you, plural, he, she, it, and they. And then you write some singular nouns and plural nouns. And then you tell them, depending on this, that you have to actually write a form or base form to make simple present positive sentences. So you teach them, if it is he, she, it, and singular nouns, you use the S form of the verb. The rest of the pronouns and plural nouns, you use the base form. So now you give them some examples. Mala bakes cakes. Mala and Sama bake cakes. So you ask them, Rama read or reads books. So students say Rama reads books, right? We read or reads. Then you ask them, right? Now you know that they have understood. You gave examples, you explained it, and you get them. So you tell them simple present tense is used to talk about regular activities. Only one function is introduced. So everything is explained now. And you ask a few questions and check whether they have understood also. Right. Now the presentation stage is over. You made all the students to passively listen to you. Teacher talk time is high, right? 10 minutes can be the maximum that you can use. Now you move on to the second stage, practice stage. They are controlled practice. Why students should not make mistakes? Why, if they make mistakes, behaviorism, they get fossilized. So how can you give them controlled practice activities? You don't ask them to write simple present tense sentences or talk about their regular activities using simple. Instead, you give them filling the blank. Choose the correct answer. Verb. Match. He now reads. They now read, like that. All controlled activities are given. Now they master what they learned by engaging in very controlled type of activities. So there's hardly any room for them to make mistakes. Doing it over and over, repetition, they will actually remember it. Because for teacher-centered behavioristic school of thought, learning is habit formation. So getting them to do it repeatedly. Only the answers are there. Select type questions, matching, rearranging, filling the blank, like that. So there's no room for mistakes. Okay. So they do it over and over and over. Half of the class time is spent on that. Then you move on to the third stage. What is the third stage, Putta?
Production stage.
Production stage. In the production stage, you can now get the students to use what they learn in the production of knowledge. Then make English language, simple present tense, or you speak 5 sentences about your daily routine or regular activities. You write 5 sentences about your daily routine. On the production, there's a bit freedom given. Habai still, you don't give 100% freedom. Why? This is not a writing class. You taught them grammar. So because of that, you will give some kind of guidelines and all that, Then they will actually use it in production. For example, you tell them, model ekak tiyenawa. Mala goes to school by bus. Mala enjoys reading books. Mala likes flowers and animals. Now you ask them, instead of Mala, you make it I. And you can actually substitute these underlying words with your own information. So Mala goes to school by bus keneka. Mala is underlined, by bus keneka underlined. I go to school by train. I go to school by school van. Their own information. But 100% freedom is not there. They have a model to follow. Right? That is production. So Mala, her hobbies are gardening and reading. Substitute kala. My hobbies are hobbies, watching TV and reading. Like that, you get them to actually produce some language, written or spoken. It doesn't matter. But still, it's not 100% freedom because it's not a writing class, it's a grammar class, right? Because of that. So that is how you organize your grammar lesson today into PPP. Got my point?
Yeah, ma'am.
So if you take mathematics, we have another 10 minutes. 5E model we will discuss next day, right? Next day, definitely, it's very important. I will talk to you about Bloom's taxonomy of writing specific objectives for lesson planning as well with the 5E. So you should come, okay? Anyway, you all are coming, that I see. You all are good. So then I'm kata karane ganam pampiyak gana. Harida? The ganam pampiyedi all api ara that you sent me that ara maths flip method will take it as an example, okay? Flipped method, maths. This is the maths one, okay? Right. I'm showing the maths one, Putta. Am I showing you the maths one?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this lesson now, if you are using the PPP model, that's presentation production model, මේ flipped එකේ වගේ නෑ. මොකද කරන්නේ? Teacher go in front of the class and explains everything on the board first. තේරුණාද?
Yeah.
The teacher gives examples and explains. And teacher asks a few questions to check whether they have understood also. That is the presentation stage. Students watch, students see, students hear, and then learn. Okay, 10 minutes or more than that is less than that is taken for the teacher's explanation. Once teacher explains everything, teacher gives activities like these. Now here there is no room for them to make a lot of mistakes. Now. The answers are there. Right? And for example, like this, that you will give them and ask them, what is this angle type and all that. So they have to actually limit it, very controlled. And then later on, the teacher might ask this question, production, what gives figures of different types of angles and asks to divide them according to the given categories. This is a kind of a their own activity, and then they can go to they can think of the classroom objects and places where they can see the angles and all that comes as production. You get that?
Yeah.
I will give you another example. Now it's about grade 5 or 6. Now you want to teach them maybe grade 3 class. You want to teach them some addition and subtraction lesson. So you first explain them some sums. Mala has 5 apples. Her mother gave her another 2. And she gave 1 to her brother and she ate 1. How many apples are remaining? So you will put the question on the board and get the students to see, Mala has 5 apples. So I actually draw 5 apples now on the board, see. And mother gave another 1. So I add another 1, plus mark and 1. Right. Now what's the total? 6. Now Mala gave 1 to her brother. So minus 1. And then, Mala ate 1. So minus 1. So now you can actually calculate. So 5 plus 1 is 6. And then minus 1 is 4. How many remaining? 4. You draw apples also. Then you put the numbers also and show it to the students. And then again, you give another example. And then see, Mala is list this color, you arakwe explain karwa. And now you say, here you have to add or you have to deduct. Here you have to add or you have to deduct. Like that you teach them 3-4 examples and see whether they have understood. Now you give them questions. Not actually, they have to decide whether they have to add or minus and all that. You tell them 5 plus 1 minus 1 equals 2. They have to work. So lots of questions like that. Right? Control practice. Then after that, you give them questions like similar ones where they have to decide whether this is to be added, this is to be subtracted and all that. And do it on their own. So that is production. That is production. So some simple example that I gave you. Okay. So the PPP model is that your lesson is developed into 3 stages: practice, production, and presentation, practice, and production. You know the purposes they serve. You know teacher talk time and student talk time. And you know how much times can be spent out of 40 minutes. Is it clear to you in the PPP lesson?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now I want to stop the work for the day and I want to tell you this much. Today I discussed some techniques, right? And then after that I introduced you PPP model. And so the next day, We are going to talk about the 5E model of teaching, and then we get into lesson planning. In lesson planning, the most important component is writing specific objectives. So for that, we have to learn Bloom's taxonomy. So next day, I will be covering 5E model and Bloom's taxonomy. So then after that, we will actually get into lesson planning. So we will write 2 lesson plans, one for PPP model, one for 5E model. Then you will better understand these models of teaching, right? So it takes time for you to understand it better, because this is just an introduction, okay? This is what we are going to do in the next 2 weeks. Anyway, we have 4 weeks. Then we have some other components also to be covered. Bloom's taxonomy. Have you done Bloom's taxonomy elsewhere? Have you heard of Bloom's taxonomy and writing specific objectives and all?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So we'll be discussing them to next day. So for homework, I will be sending you the materials and the assignment by tomorrow, right? And homework, I have asked you to actually watch. I told you that I will be sending you a video that you have to actually watch it and come prepared for 1 minute talk on that era, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
And
Yes,
today,
miss.
those who actually brought homework to the class for discussion, thank you very much. Keep it up. And next day, all the 9 people or the 10 people in the class should talk about this video that you're watching for 1 minute. Okay. So with that, I will stop. Thank you
Ma'am?
for joining. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting. Can you please give me a brief explanation about our assignment?
Yeah. Assignment is the flipped method, no, Putta?
Yes, ma'am.
You are the newcomer.
Yeah.
And now, this is flipped method. Give me a second. I want to actually open the assignment then. Flipped method. No. Assignment is saved. Where? Give me a second. Stop, and then I have to open the. This is your Apex, no? Apex Educational Technology. Let's see. Educational. Now look at this. This will be the no. I'm actually trying to locate. Give me a second. Right? I'm trying to locate your assignment. First, I have to show the assignment. Yeah. New folder. New folder. Apex. Right down here. Apex. But this is about something else. This is not. That is my previous one now. Where did I keep? That is the problem now. But it's teaching technology. Give me. That day I showed you, yeah. Locating is now very difficult. Give me a second, Balan. Right, okay. Let's see. Are you all there? Still there?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Give
ma'am.
me a second. Okay. I'm trying to locate my assignment and okay. You have to give me a second and I'm put the kinder.
Hello, ma'am.